Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brothers. Strange things do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So I came here to South Africa a very long time ago. Even if you were to see me walking down the street, you won't even suspect that I am a foreigner, because I have lived among South Africans for a very long period of time. Hence, I consider myself to be South African. And since I was associating myself with a lot of South Africans instead of people from my own country, I then started to be friends with this other man, a very wealthy man, but I could not understand him when our friendship began. So I thought that maybe this man, he was a gangster or something like that, because his money, you could not actually understand where his money was coming from, because he always had huge sums of money at all the times around him. In his car, even if you will take something from his car, you won't even notice that you have stolen money from him, because of the huge amount of cash that he always travels around with. So I thought that maybe he is a gangster, since he has tattoos and his face, you can actually think that maybe this man is a gangster or a thug. So the reason as to why I thought that this man is a gangster, it was because of the cars that he drove, the things that he did, until one day I confronted him. I said, look, my friend, as we were drinking beer, where are you getting all of this money to buy all of these cars? Because at the time when I did my money-making rituals, that was when those beautiful Ford Rangers first came out, not like your recent ones, but the first nice Ford Rangers came out. That was the first time. That was the time that I did my money-making rituals. So as we were talking about his new car that he had bought for cash, I wanted to know what was his source of income. I asked him if he was like one of those gangsters that go around following those cars, like your SBV cars that carry cash around the country. So I wanted to know if he was in connection with those guys that go around following those cars so that they can steal money. And he started to laugh and he said that, no, this is not what I do. And on that day, that was when I realized that you should never judge the book by its cover, because even this guy, even though he looked like he was a gangster, but this guy, he was not even into gangsterism or stealing any stuff. He was just a ritualist who actually sacrificed his own family. So as we were drinking our beer, he then said, come, follow me. First, we went to my place, and after we had dropped some items at my place, that was when we went straight to his place. When we arrived at his house, he then told me that there was this other particular room that he wanted to show me. And even though I had been at his place, I had always seen that he had this other room that was always locked at all the times. So we then went into that room. When we went into that room, I saw that it was just empty, and it had those metallic shelves like the ones that they have in the bakeries. So I asked him if he wanted to start a small bakery or what, and he laughed at me and he said that, no, these are not the shelves that they use in the bakeries, rather they use these shelves in the mortuaries. And I was really shocked when this man told me that the shelves that I was looking at, they actually use them in the mortuaries. I asked him if he wanted to start a mortuary, and he then told me that the things that he was about to tell me, there were things that were going to shock me, and he wanted to know if I was strong enough. But for the love of owning my first Ford Ranger, I told him that I was strong enough. The man then told me that he had sacrificed his own mother. He then told me that in the month of August, each and every year, he has to do this ritual. The way that he performs this ritual is that his mother's dead body appears from nowhere. Then he has to make love to his mother's dead body, just like he did when he sacrificed his mother. He said that by the time that his mother passed away at this other hospital. Using his connections, he then got his mother's corpse. Then he made love to his mother's corpse just after she had passed away. He said that when my mother's body was still warm, that was when I made love to her. And so the punishment that is given to him each and every year is that his mother's dead body just appears in that room in the month of August each and every year. After he had told me all of these things, I was really shocked, my brother. Yes, I still wanted to buy my own car, but at the same time, when I started to think that this man, he had killed his own mother, and after that, he had made love to his mother's dead body, I said, who does such a thing? My friend had revealed all of the rituals that he does. That was when he took me to his traditional healer. So we then went to his own traditional healer. But when we got there, the traditional healer told me that mine was going to be a different case because he was going to insert this certain type of a spirit into my body. So this spirit, it was going to tell me the day that my mother was going to die, for I was supposed to be there when my mother would be dying, so that I can have her body to sleep with her dead body, so that I can start to make my own money. So after I had been given these charms, that was when I returned back home. My brother, I was still in shock because of the things that I had seen and because of the things that I knew that I was going to do, to kill my own mother, and after that to sleep with her dead body. But anyways, there was this other day when I just felt my heart beating really fast. So that guy spoke with his own traditional healer, and the traditional healer then said that unfortunately his charms and his tokologies, they cannot allow him to cross the Limpopo River. Therefore, I had to go there to Zim alone, but he was going to be watching me in the spirit, and he was going to be guiding me. So I went on the bus and I traveled all the way from South Africa, returning back home to Zim. Unfortunately, by the time that I arrived back home, my mother's body had been placed in the mortuary already. So it was not going to be possible for me to sleep with her body. Anyway, we waited for my mother's body to be returned back to the village, and we then buried my mother. After I had buried my mother, on that same night that we buried her, I went to her graveyard, yet no one saw me. I was naked. Then I just went to my mother's new grave and I spoke with her and I said, "Oh mother, oh dear mother, you know me that I am your son, for you gave birth to me. Please rise up, oh mother, so that I can sleep with you." She then woke up and I saw that she was sitting on top of her grave. She then asked me what is it that I wanted from her, and there was so much sadness that was all over her face. Then I told her that I needed to sleep with her so that I can make money. Then she agreed, but there was so much sadness and grief that was written all over her face. After I had finished making love to her, that was when I planned my trip to return back to South Africa. So I then returned back to South Africa, and the next thing that happened was that each and every morning when I would wake up, until the money that was needed for me to buy that Ford Ranger was enough, each and every morning I would wake up and I would find huge sums of cash. I then bought my car. But what I didn't know at that time when I did these rituals was that soon after losing my own mother, then being given this money, the money was going to run dry. So when I saw that the money was no longer appearing underneath my pillow, I then returned back to my friend and I was told that each and every time if I need to buy something that is expensive, then I have to sacrifice one amongst my relatives. If I want to buy a new car today, then I have to sacrifice one amongst my relatives, and I do not want to do this anymore. But dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. Strange things do happen in this world. Simply because you just want to own a Ford Ranger, then you sacrifice your own mother. Each and every August, he says that he goes back to Zim, and he goes and he sleeps on top of his mother's grave. Strange things do happen in this world. If you see that your boyfriend is always unavailable in the month of August, know that there is something wrong with your boyfriend.